In this part, we are going to teach you how to work with Motion 2 script. Why? Because Motion 2 script can help us make smooth and complicated animations. There are some animations that can be made by Motion 2 script more easily instead of making them manually. Now make a new composition. If you have already installed this script, you can find it here in Window tab. Okay, now I make a circle here. If you want to have the anchor point of the shapes in the middle of them, when making them, you have to go Preferences setting. So go to Edit tab, click on Preferences and select General and check Center Anchor Point in New Shape Layer. Here we have a circle that needs to be smaller. Now we want to animate it. Let's have 3 copies of it. Do it with Ctrl D. Select all of the 4 circles and press P on your keyboard to uncheck their positions to be able to make keyframe. Activate the chronometer next to them and after 50 frames drag each of the circles to the right side of the scene. Let's reorder the layers. This is the first. This is the second. This is the third and this is the last one. The first move is a linear move. Take the keyframes a bit forward to see this better. When you go to Graph View, you see the animation is shown like this. Let me uncheck Show Expression Editor. Linear means just in a moment the shape would speed up from 0 to 500 pixels and suddenly becomes 0 again. The second move is like Missile's move that the shape speeds up gradually from slow to fast. When Missile option is clicked on and its value is 0, keyframes will have a status called busier continuous that we'll talk about it more afterwards. If you assign the value of 0 for the second option, keyframes will become linear, which is default status of the software. The third option is anchor. When you assign the value of 0 for it, as you see the keyframes become square-like that we call it toggle hole. In this status, there will not be interpolation between 2 keyframes and the object will move to the new position only in a single frame. This helps you very much in a stop motion style. For example, when you want an event to occur every 20 frames, you can get use of this option. But if you assign another values for it, the 2 keyframes become sandglass like that. We call it easy ease. As much as you increase the value assigned for it, the compression of the points in the beginning of the move would increase. When the value becomes 100, the utmost compression will be for the beginning of the move and the minimum of the compression would be at the end of the move. It means we will have a very slow start and a very quick ending. The second option is called easy ease, which divides the compression equally between the 2 keyframes and the maximum speed would be in the middle of them. The last option is anchor, in which the maximum compression is for the end of the move. That means the closer the object gets to the end, the slower its move will become. As you see in all options, objects start moving in a single frame and stop it in another frame. but the kind of movement is different because their speed in each frame is different. The first circle has a linear move, the second one has an easy out move, the third one has an easy ease move, and the last one has an easy in move. By script motion we can have multiple changes, and even after animating the objects we can move their anchor points. If you move an object's anchor point manually with pan behind anchor point tool, especially after animating it, this makes a new keyframe. Of course, you can also move anchor points by changing their values. In the manual way of moving an anchor point, the value of it and the value of its position would change. That makes a keyframe. In the second way, by changing the value of an anchor point, we will not make a keyframe, but the position of the layer will change. We have also another way of moving the position of an anchor point by pan behind anchor point tool without making a new keyframe. As we said, this tool can change both of position's value and anchor point. In order to make it affect only on the anchor point, by pressing Alt on your keyboard, move the anchor point. But the special function of Motion 2 script is that it would not change the animation and does not move the layer. Since even by moving an anchor point while holding Alt, you need to adjust the position of the layer. Another special function of the script is that you can change the anchor points of several layers at the same time without changing the animation.